So hey Glenn, do you want to rub some oil on my back?
Sure, Ross.
Oh, we're doing the video now? As you can probably tell by that totally gay opening, it's summertime again and us anime fans have yet another season of the good, the bad, and the fucking ugly. Honestly, this is more of a recommendation guide than a true first impressions video, but you know, video optimization and all that. Anyway, let's stop wasting time and get going. Oh look, the weebs have decided to show up. School Life is a show that is able to deliver two distinct atmospheres due to the psychological state of one of its main characters, which really caught my eye when I first watched it. Watch most of the first episode and you'll think this is a show like any other, but not only is it very funny, cute, and has one of the best dog characters I've ever seen, its world in reality is a dark and dead place. It allows the show to ride between two completely different experiences and ultimately makes it the show with the most potential this season if it pulls off what it should do by the end of it. As of right now, the show is considerably rooted in its comedy, but it is showing signs of getting more serious as the show pans out. Some aspects of the silly side of the show really remind me of the Going Home Club, which I doubt many of you will have seen, but I can assure you it's one of the best comedy anime ever made, so that's definitely not a bad thing. Charlotte is bound to be one of the more controversial shows of the season, mostly just because of the fact that it's key, and people love to fight over whether their anime are good or not. I can understand both why people will like Charlotte and why they will not, but saying something like, oh great, here's another glass slip is the dumbest thing you can say on so many levels, so please don't. Personally, I rather like Charlotte so far. With a vibrant world full of weird and wonderful superpowers to explore, I think I'll keep that opinion. The second episode is fairly different to the first in its tone, and it's clear that this show will linger between the boundaries of comedy and seriousness, with the scientist stuff pretty consistently, and I know for a fact some people really aren't going to like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit disappointed that I won't get to see our MC dick about with his possession ability just like how I would in his prior situation. Unfortunately, that's kind of impossible with where the show is choosing to go, but I certainly don't dislike Charlotte because of that. Sure, our main guy does come off as a bit bland in the second episode, but the rest of the characters I kind of love already, particularly this adorable little sister and Neo. Overall, I'm happy recommending this to you. Alharu X Machine Gun is an anime that plays almost every cliché in the shonen and gender secrecy rulebook, and yet, when it comes down to it, I have a strange attraction to it. Is it the action? Well, honestly, our first survival game was more like a chat in the park than a battle to the death, but I suppose when it does decide to get moving, it does undoubtedly look good. That's not everything though. Honestly, I think it mostly comes down to character dynamics. These characters are fun to watch when put together, and honestly, it makes for a pretty great trashy comedy. Combined with the bursts of excitement, this is an anime that, while not really being special, is a nice thing to put on when you're feeling bored. The one problem I do have is this guy, because he's essentially a little bitch, which is not a character type I normally get behind. Hopefully his personality doesn't drag on, because I really am enjoying this show for what it is, even if it is one of the more silly things airing this season. Of course I'd talk about Repeat. What do you take me for? We all know Non-Nonburi is world peace in anime form, and Repeat is just that. Repeated. There seems to be a well-kept secret somewhere in this far-off island to craft entertaining simplicity, and Non-Nonburi fully exploits this. Take the first half of the second episode, where we're presented with a game about flicking rulers off of tables. This shouldn't be enjoyable to play, let alone watch, and yet it goes on for a majority of this episode, and this show is still my favourite out of, well, anything. Here's what it comes down to. Non is some of the funniest characters, great music, and on top of all that, looks great. In other words, it is everything you could want from a show designed to relax you. 10 out of 10 A+, best girl of the season, just check it out. Okay, that's about it for this video, but if you want some more seasonal anime talk about these shows and much more, check out this new podcast I started with some losers, Anifix. I know, I'm pretty great with names. It's perfect for some backing noise when you're doing any sort of tedious task, essay, whatever. I've got some big plans for this one, so check it out, you'll probably like it. Also, before I go, make sure you let me know what your favourite show airing this season is thus far. I'm pretty set on mine, but I'd love to hear what you've got your eyes on. I've been Russ, Anime Russ, and have a great night or day.